Hello everyone, welcome to another series of today's GK. Let's begin with previous day question. Question was, which among the following states of India has maximum number of Ramsar sites? Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Uttar Pradesh or Himachal Pradesh? The correct answer is option A, Tamil Nadu. Recently, Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change has launched the Save Wetlands campaign. The Ramsar Convention is an international treaty for the conservation and sustainable utilization of wetlands. It recognizes the fundamental ecological functions of wetlands and their economic, cultural, scientific, and recreational value. The convention entered into force in India on 1st February 1982. India currently has 75 sites designated as Wetlands of International Importance or Ramsar sites. Among states, Tamil Nadu has the maximum number of Ramsar sites, that is 14, followed by Uttar Pradesh with 10. Pichavaram Mangrove, Point Calimere Wildlife and Bird Sanctuary, Vaduvur Bird Sanctuary, etc. are the Ramsar sites in Tamil Nadu. Therefore, option A is correct. Now let's begin today's session. First question is, which of the following recently released Making India a Global Powerhouse on Farm Machinery Industry report? Food and Agricultural Organization, Niti Aayog, the National Council of Applied Economic Research or National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development? The correct answer is option C, the National Council of Applied Economic Research. Recently, the National Council of Applied Economic Research or NCAER has latest report on Making India a Global Powerhouse on Farm Machinery Industry. It was released by the Union Minister of State for Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare. The NCAER is one of India's premier economic policy research think tanks. NCAER has analyzed the non-tractor farm machinery industry from both demand and supply side perspectives. It has brought out the challenges in this sector. It has recommended measures and reforms by benchmarking global practices in its report. The report, amongst other things, stresses that India needs a vision for the next 15 years to convert itself into a production and export hub for non-tractor farm machinery. Hence, option C is correct. Next question is, consider the following states. 1. Arunachal Pradesh, 2. Assam, 3. Nagaland. Which of the above given states of India borders Bhutan? 1 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 2 only, or 2 only? The correct answer is option C, 1 and 2 only. Recently, a parliamentary delegation from Bhutan called on President of India at Rashtrapati Bhavan. Bhutan is a country of South Central Asia located on the eastern ridges of the Himalayas. Bhutan borders the Indian states of Arunachal Pradesh to the east and Sikkim to the southwest. It also shares boundary with the Indian states of West Bengal and Assam. Therefore, option C is correct. Bhutan's mountainous territory is dissected by numerous rivers. The main rivers from west to east are the Torsa Amo, Vong, Raidak, Sankosh, Mo and Manas. All the rivers flow southward from the Great Himalayas and join the Brahmaputra River in India. There are three major ethnic groups in Bhutan, the Bhutia, the Nepalis and the Sharchop. Physically, Bhutan may be divided into three regions from north to south: the Great Himalayas, the Lesser Himalayas and the Duars Plain. Next question is, with reference to Indian economy, the One District, One Product, Districts as Export Hubs or ODOPDEH is associated with which of the following ministries of the Government of India? Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Ministry of Development of North Eastern Region or Ministry of Home Affairs? The correct answer is option B, Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Recently, One District, One Product, Districts as Export Hubs has mapped and tagged the overlapping products in Taj Hotel's in-house luxury store Khazana. The launch of this initiative was held in New Delhi recently. The One District, One Product District as Export Hubs is a program under the Department of Commerce and Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. It comes under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. It aims to create sustainable employment at the district level while promoting holistic socio-economic development. The idea is to select, brand and promote one product from each district of the country. Hence, option B is correct. Next question is, white label ATMs or WLAs are ATMs set up, owned and operated by non-banks. Non-bank ATM operators are authorized by which of the following acts? Payment and Settlement Systems Act 2007, Banking Regulation Act 1949, Reserve Bank of India Act 1934 or Companies Act 2013. The correct answer is option A, Payment and Settlement Systems Act 2007. Recently, RBI has extended the validity of authorization issued to Vakrange Limited to set up, own and operate white label ATMs in India. White label ATMs or WLAs are ATMs set up, owned and operated by non-banks are called WLAs. Non-bank ATM operators are authorized under the Payment and Settlement Systems Act 2007 by the Reserve Bank of India. Hence, option A is correct. In addition to dispensing cash, ATMs or WLAs may offer many other services or facilities to customers. Some of such services include account information, cash deposit, regular bill payment, etc. Next question is, which among the following countries ranks first in milk production in the world? China, India, United States of America or Brazil? The correct answer is option B, India. Recently, the Corporate Statistical Database was released by Food and Agriculture Organization. According to this data, India is the highest milk producer, that is ranks first position in the world, contributing 24% of global milk production in the year 2021-22. The milk production of India has registered 51% increases during the last 8 years. India is the world's largest milk producer, followed by the United States of America, China, Pakistan and Brazil. Hence, option B is correct. Approximately 150 million households around the globe are engaged in milk production. In most developing countries, milk is produced by smallholders and milk production contributes to household livelihoods, food security and nutrition. Milk provides relatively quick returns for small-scale producers and is an important source of cash income. Next question is, which among the following states does not come under the 6th schedule of the Indian Constitution? Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura or Manipur? The correct answer is option D, Manipur. Recently, Ladakhi innovator and engineer Sonam Wangchuk has completed his 5-day climate fast. It is an effort to draw the attention of Indian leaders to the region's fragile ecology and to secure its protection under the 6th schedule of the Constitution. The Standing Committee also recommended including of Ladakh in the 6th schedule because its tribal communities account for 79.61% of its total population. The 6th schedule of India's Constitution protects tribal populations and provides autonomy to communities to frame laws on land, public health, agriculture, etc. Currently, 10 autonomous development councils exist in the tribal areas of Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. Hence, option D is correct. Next question is, consider the following. 1. Rhizobium. 2. Azotobacter. 3. Azospirillum. Which of the above given can be used as biofertilizers? 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 3 only or 1, 2 and 3? The correct answer is option D, 1, 2 and 3. Recently, Union Minister of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare has given the information regarding the use of biofertilizers. The use of biofertilizer is recommended under Integrated Nutrient Management or INM strategies and organic farming for use in all crops. Biofertilizers are live microbial products which does not contain any nutrients. The microorganisms present in the biofertilizer ensure availability of nutrients from non-available form present within soil and air to available form which plants can uptake. Some of the biofertilizers are namely Rhizobium, Azotobacter, Azospirillum, phosphate solubilizing bacteria, mycorrhizal biofertilizers. Hence, option D is correct. Next question is, with reference to National Commission for Scheduled Tribes, consider the following statements. 1. It was established by amending Article 338 and inserting a new Article 338A in the Constitution. 2. It consists of a chairperson, a vice chairperson, and 3 other members. Select the correct option using the code given below. 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option C, both 1 and 2. National Commission for Scheduled Tribes, or NCST, is currently functioning with less than 50% of its sanctioned strength. This data has been presented by the Ministry of Tribal Affairs in Lok Sabha. NCST was established by amending Article 338 and inserting a new Article 338A in the Constitution through the Constitution 89th Amendment Act 2003. By this amendment, the erstwhile National Commission for Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes was replaced by 2 separate commissions, namely the National Commission for Scheduled Caste and the National Commission for Scheduled Tribes. Hence, statement 1 is correct. It consists of a chairperson, a vice chairperson, and 3 other members. They are appointed by the President by warrant under his hand and seal. Their conditions of service and tenure of office are also determined by the President. Hence, statement 2 is also correct. Therefore, option C is correct. Next question is, who among the following was the first chairperson of the National Commission for Women, or NCW? Jayanti Patnaik, Mohini Giri, Vibha Parth Sarthi, or Dr. Purnima Advani? The correct answer is option A, Jayanti Patnaik. Recently, the National Commission for Women, or NCW, organized a 3-day workshop from February 4 to 6 on gender-responsive governance for elected women representatives. It was organized under She is a Changemaker project, a pan-India capacity-building program of the Commission for improving leadership skills of women representatives at all levels. The National Commission for Women was set up as a statutory body in January 1992 under the National Commission for Women Act 1990. The first commission was constituted on 31st January 1992 with Mrs. Jayanti Patnaik as the chairperson. Hence, option A is correct. Last question is, in the context of government policies and interventions, Garima Grihi scheme is associated with women, transgender, disabled, or elderly. The correct answer is option B, transgender. Recently, Minister of State for Social Justice and Empowerment has given the information regarding Garima Grihi scheme. To safeguard the rights of transgender persons and protect the interest of the community, there is a prime need to establish Garima Grihis for the transgender community. Section 8(4) of the Transgender Act 2019 has mentioned that the appropriate government shall take steps for the rescue, protection, and rehabilitation of transgender persons. The main aim of Garima Grihis is to provide shelter to transgender persons with basic amenities like shelter, food, medical care, and recreational facilities. Besides, it will provide support for the capacity building or skill development of transgender persons. To ensure the shelter home with facilities of lodging and boarding, clothing, recreation, medical, and counseling. To empower a transgender person through skill development and to provide a safe and inclusive environment for their holistic development. Therefore, option B is correct. Now it's time for the practice question. National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, or NIMHANS, is located in which of the following cities? Amritsar, Patna, Bangalore, or Kolkata? Send the answer of this question in the comment section. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks for watching.